India's GDP doubled in the last 10 years. It was 2.1 trillion in 2015 and it's 4.1 trillion now. No other democracy has done this. What does this tell us? And where does it take us as a country? Are we on the path to become a superpower? Let's find out. First, let's be honest about what a superpower actually means. It's not just GDP. America isn't a superpower because it's just rich. It's a superpower because it has military reach, technology dominance, cultural export, and of course, the dollar power. And China isn't a superpower just because of factories alone. It's because it can build an island in the South China Sea and dare anyone to stop it. And what about India? We are the world's fourth largest economy as of now. We crossed Japan in mid-2025. That's a great feature. But Japan had 125 million people. India has 1.4 billion. And that's a big difference. Overtaking them with 11 times the population, that may not be a miracle. That's arithmetics finally catching up. So let's ask a better question. Not whether India becomes a superpower, but whether the average Indian feels any different by 2030. Will his living conditions improve? Will we be able to live a better life by 2030? These are probably much more important questions to ask. You know that uncle who keeps forwarding news about India's progress in the WhatsApp groups, right? Well, he's not wrong really. We had 74 airports in 2014, but today we have 157. And that's a huge jump. India builds 33 kilometers of new roads every day. And this is real progress. We have to give credit to the new government. But there's a problem. Indonesia built a new whole capital city because their current capital city of Jakarta is getting crowded. And they did it from scratch in 5 years. China built 45,000 kilometers of high-speed rail in 15 years. Not regular train, high-speed train. India's bullet train was announced in 2050. It's 2026 and it's still pending. We have potholes reported on national highways 6 months after inauguration. In Pune, in Kerala, it's the same story but different city. What does it tell us? You see, superpower countries don't just build. They build fast and unimaginably fast. We, as a country, are not there yet. This is the sad truth. Of course, we are building. We have some exciting projects coming up as well, but we are building slow compared to the top countries. Now, is it a problem? Well, compared to our past, it is not because there is progress. But compared to our competitors, it is a big problem. Now, listen to this part. This is where I think Indians genuinely don't realize what they have built in the last couple of years. UPI, 185 billion transactions in just the last year. More daily volume than Visa. Globally, 49% of the world's real-time payments happen in India. America doesn't have this. Europe doesn't. And Japan, with all its tech reputation, can't even get close. So that chaiwala with the QR code, the auto guy who says, "Gpay kar do bhaiya," that is India doing something no developed country has ever managed to get done. Ever. But here's the thing. We still can't build a proper, functioning, usable toilet in most railway stations. Put your hand on your heart and tell me whether you'll use a public toilet in a railway station or not. Now, whose fault is it? Is it the government or ours? Okay, digital India and physical India feels like two entirely different things, vastly different. And you know what Vietnam did in the last 10 years? Their manufacturing exports went from 150 billion to 370 billion in the last 5 years. And what about us? Make in India was launched in 2014. And the goal was 25% of GDP in manufacturing. Well, it's 2026. We are still below 20. You see, superpowers make things. America made cars, planes, weapons, computers. China makes pretty much everything the world uses. But what does India do? India exports brains. Not products. We still have people aspiring to leave India and settle elsewhere in another country. Why? Because we still have some things from the past remain as it is. These are schemes on paper. We have the intent, but the execution, that is another story. And this matters. This really matters. You know that engineering graduate in your family, the one preparing for UPSC for 2 years? Not because he loves public service, but because there is nothing else that feels stable for a career. You know, India adds 10 to 12 million people to its workforce every year. Germany's entire workforce is only 45 million. We add a quarter of that every single year. But look at our youth unemployment rate. It's at 15%, 1-5. Young women in cities, it's 25%. So superpowers absorb their people, you see. America absorbed immigrants and made them productive. Most of their best brains came from India. We lost them to better living conditions and the H-1B visa. China absorbed its villagers into factories. And India? We are creating IT parks that hire thousands. Now, here's the part that nobody wants to talk about. Public health. Public health spending is at 1.9% of GDP in India. The target was 2.5. We missed it. Brazil does 9.9%. India has one government doctor per 1,500 people. Think about that. You know that family in your building, right? Kid goes to a private school they can barely afford, but still they prefer the private school. That's what happens when roads gets budgets and schools don't. You see, superpowers invest in people, not just highways. America built public universities that became the world's best. Well, maybe not now, but they were. China lifted 800 million out of poverty with healthcare and education. And India, infrastructure spending is 1.5 times the budget for education, health, and welfare combined. This has to change if you want to be a superpower, or at least close to it. China got rich before it got old. India might get old before it gets rich. So is India going to be a superpower by 2030? Well, economically, we might end up as the top 3. Almost certainly. And technologically, maybe pockets of excellence here and there, but not dominance. And culturally, well, Bollywood and yoga aren't enough. We need more soft power. The government, of course, is making all kinds of efforts, but we have to push it harder and move faster. Well, the honest answer is India in 2030 will be, of course, powerful than how we are today, but definitely not likely a superpower. Superpowers project power outward. India is still figuring out how to project power inward. You know, to Bihar, to Jharkhand, to that village in UP where the school has no teacher yet. Maybe superpower is the wrong question. You know what's more interesting? Whether that cousin of yours who just landed in Toronto will want to come back in 10 years back to India. Whether that engineer preparing for government exams finds something better that he thinks is a stable career choice. India will be richer in 2030. It might be the 3rd largest economy in the world. Maybe we'll end up at 7 trillion. But 7 trillion with 40% of kids under 5 with stunted growth, that's not a superpower. That's a contradiction. And I'm proud of India, of course, not the WhatsApp forward kind, the kind where you have to see both sides. I've lived outside. I return back and I'm actually bringing other people also. And I still think there's something here. But pride without honesty is as good as nothing. And honesty without pride is just cynicism. Maybe the real question isn't whether India becomes a superpower. Maybe it is, what kind of country do we actually want to be? One that wins in rankings, or one where your family doesn't need to struggle for basics? All of this might sound like generalization, I know, but that's a good start for a conversation, isn't it? Let me know in the comments what you think. I'll see you in another video. This is Mani Karthik signing off.